Now with understanding of what is the role of molybdenum, chlorine and nickel, we are going to pile up the mineral nutrition basically. It is a long topic, and I know it is quite difficult in cramming the things, but try to understand it from the plant's point of view, how important it is for the plants. Maybe you realize some importance and it will be easier for you to learn it. Now we are going to deal with molybdenum, chlorine and nickel individually. First of all, let's talk about molybdenum. You have to remember that this particular mineral element would be primarily present in the roots instead of the shoots, alright, primarily. It would be present in the shoot system though, but it would be more concentrated in the roots. It is absorbed in the form of molybdate ions from the soil, which is this, alright. Molybdate ions from the soil would be taken up. That is the available form which the plant is able to take up. Then it is important for nodulation of legumes. The legume plants would be able to form nodules if molybdenum is present in the ample quantity, and it is very important for the reduction of nitrates to nitrites. That means it is very important for the nitrogen metabolism. That is why it is concentrated more in the roots, because the roots are the site where this nitrogen uptake is taking place. So molybdenum would be required over there for the activation of nitrogenase, of course, and in the presence of molybdate ions, this nitrates would be reduced to nitrites, alright. We need to reach the place where the plant is able to take up the nitrogen in the form of ammonia. So that process, the beginning process, would be enabled or accompanied with molybdenum in the presence, okay. Then ascorbic acid metabolism also needs molybdenum. So what we are going to see in case molybdenum is not going to be present, because it is affecting the nitrogen metabolism again, the deficiency symptoms would be similar to nitrogen. That is why these are very critical for a plant, and chlorosis is observed. Alright, chlorosis, that is yellowing of the leaves, would be observed in the plant, and the leaf growth would be poor because somehow it is having a direct effect on the nitrogen metabolism. The flower formation is also inhibited when molybdenum is not present in the required quantity, and the shoot growth is often seen showing the condition of dieback. There is a dieback sort of condition when the root growth is studded, that is the plant is dying slowly and ultimately leading to the complete necrosis. This is all about molybdenum. The point of remembering is that it plays an important role in nitrogen fixation process which takes place in the roots. That is why it is present in the roots. The presence is more in roots as compared to the shoots. Next that we come to the next element that we come over to is chlorine. Chlorine is very important for the process of photosynthesis. You know, it would be absorbed as chlorides which would be present in the mineral matter. This chlorine ion is very important because this chlorine basically helps in the electron transport in the photosystem 2. Now, what is photosystem 2? If you have read it or if you haven't read it, you need to know that this is the system on which the sunlight comes and falls. The photons give the energy to the pigment molecules of this photosystem. They take up that energy and they become photooxidized. So, the photooxidized pigment, let us consider the photooxidized chlorophyll, would be electron deficient because the proton has given photon. I'm sorry, pardon me, it's not proton. The photooxidized chlorophyll would be electron deficient because the photon which was incident on it, it has given enough energy to the outer electrons to get excited. Now, because the photosystem becomes electron deficient, chlorine comes into the scenario and helps in the transfer of the electron, which makes this electron deficient photosystem stable by providing the electron from water. We did discuss in the case of manganese, we discussed that manganese was responsible for splitting of water and the generation of the electron, and who is responsible for transfer of this electron? It is the chlorine. So, chlorine is very much required for the process of photosynthesis. Now, what would you see if chlorine is not present abundantly? Wilted leaves. First of all, the leaves would droop. You might have observed that in the days of summer, in the evening time when somebody is watering the garden, before the watering starts, the leaves are wilted after that long spell of sunlight. So, that condition is wilting, and first of all in the case of chlorine deficiency, you would find wilted leaves which would be followed by chlorosis, and in acute cases the plant death can also take place. Otherwise, another symptom of this chlorine deficiency is that you would find thick club shaped roots, like supposedly this is the secondary root which are arising. Towards the tip they would be thick and they would be somewhat club shaped. So such is the deficiency symptoms which is observed in case chlorine is deficient. Alright, now coming to the last one, that is nickel, and you might be very happy because we are coming to the end of mineral nutrition over here. Nickel would be taken up in the form of its ions, divalent ions. It is very important part of the enzyme urease. Now, I would like to tell you that whenever some enzyme name is given, A suggests that it is an enzyme which is responsible for whatever is present behind A's, that breakdown or synthesis of this particular thing. So over here we are talking about urea. Alright, in plants urease is required for the hydrolysis of urea. So when hydrolysis of urea takes place, what happens? CO2 and ammonium would be released, ammonium ions would be released. So it plays an important role in the hydrolysis of urea. If this nickel is not present, urease will not be present, and you would find necrosis which would be taking place. Why that necrosis would be taking place? Because the urea will not be hydrolyzed. There would be deposition of urea around the leaves, and we would find necrotic spots of urea which would lead to, of course, the death of the tissue. That is why it becomes necrotic at the tips of the leaves. Alright, so we see necrotic spots if nickel is deficient, and one particular case, that is in the seeds of barley. Barley is a cereal. If barley seeds are not, if barley plant is deficient in nickel, they would be non-viable seeds. That means they will not be able to germinate. So this is all about the micro elements. We have studied about macro elements, we have studied about micronutrients, their importance, their deficiency symptoms. I hope you will be able to learn the facts and understand what each element has a role in the growth of a particular plant.